Welcome back to the Poultry Doc podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Blayne, and today we're helping Sarah tackle a tough mite outbreak. Feather loss, irritated skin, and that unmistakable feeling of creepy crawlies after you leave the coop. We'll show you how to clear your birds, save your back, and break the reinfestation life cycle. Let's jump in. Welcome back to the Poultry Doc podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Blayne, and today we're back at Sarah's house. And we're going to look at a second issue that she's having, and that was with parasites. And so, Sarah, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've got going on? And I know you were a little bit shy to talk about it. So tell us about some of the issues that you've seen.
Okay, so I noticed after holding my chickens that I was itching all over my arms. They kind of like go upwards. So it gets worse and worse into your hair over time. It's really bad. So every time I buy medicine, I feel like not confident in using it. I'm just not quite sure the right way to treat them.
Yeah. And you read so much online, I'm sure, about how to use it and all the different products. And
I feel like it says different stuff everywhere, so it just makes me not confident.
You know, there are so many different things you can find online as to what to treat this parasite with and that parasite with. And this is one of the things that we want to bring to the audience is reliable information that's data-driven and not just based on hearsay. So this is Buddy, Sarah's turkin, and he has got lice and mites. I mean, you can see them around his eyes, the little white kind of dust-looking material. Those are the eggs of the northern fowl mite, and they basically create like a glue and it sticks to the feathers. That's kind of what that is and how it works. Permethrin, like the stuff that you have here, will work. It's been around forever, and so there are a lot of cases where a lot of these are resistant now to permethrin. So, you know, if you've treated in the past and it hasn't been successful, that's probably why. So we've got a treatment for mites, and it's the drug's called Fluorolaner, and it's really great in that you can give it through the water and treat the whole flock at the same time. So she's going to treat all her birds. Again, the product's given through the water. It's not intended to be delivered to each individual bird. So what we're going to do is give a systemic treatment to her whole flock so that when those parasites bite her birds and they take that blood meal, they're going to be exposed to that medicine and they die relatively quickly. Actually, this product works so quickly that it's most likely by about 8 hours, all the northern fowl mites that are alive in your flock will be dead, okay? Now, remember, we saw earlier that this bird had eggs, right? So those eggs that are on the face and on the back of the head, those are gonna hatch. And so if we treat just once those eggs hatch, then we're gonna have another population that's out. So the way this medicine works, we treat once, and then 7 days later, we follow up with a second treatment, and that second treatment is intended to get all those parasites or all these northern fowl mites that hatched in that 7-day window, and now we kill that second population. And again, based on the parasite's life cycle, we know that all those parasites would have taken a blood meal that were either alive or hatched in that 14-day window. So we can be confident that we can basically clear the entire premises of this bug just by treating the flock. There's a couple advantages to this. One is that we treat through the water. You don't have to individually handle birds. I know some birds don't like to be handled. The second thing that's a really advantage with this product is we don't have to treat the premises, because in order for that parasite to survive, it has to take a blood meal. And so that means if there's any of those bugs in the environment, they're gonna have to get on a bird and take a meal from that bird. And again, they're gonna be exposed to this drug and then they're gonna be killed. So the requirement to treat and clean out all the litter, which obviously would be a task, right, if you had to do that here, isn't required anymore. So huge advantage of this product. So.
What about with the baby chicks?
Baby chicks, it's fine. There's no age requirement. And so one of the things, you know, many people are concerned about, if we treat through the water, how do I know that the bird's getting the correct dose, right? One, all these drugs that are FDA labeled, which this drug is, have been safety and efficacy tested like many times the rate that they're labeled at. So we ensure that it's safe even if they were to get like a 10 or 15x dose. And we know that baby chicks versus large roosters, for example, that weigh significantly more, those roosters drink more water than the baby chicks, right? And so that the intake of water correlates with their weight, and so that's how we treat, that's how we know the birds are getting the appropriate dose. And that goes for really any medicine that we treat through the water. As long as those birds are drinking, which in some cases we have really sick birds that may not be drinking enough, and we have to individually treat those. But if your flock is drinking, we can make sure that those birds are receiving the appropriate dose. It'll take several weeks for those, you know, the little egg sacs and stuff that you see there.
Even if they're empty.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of they have to shed off and they're actually like glued to the feather.
Right.
So even though you're treating them, you may still see those. It'll take a while for them to come off, but the bugs will be gone. Okay, so today we visited Sarah's flock and we looked at some parasite issues that she had and follow up in a couple weeks. Hope we turn things around here and share this episode, save it, and tell all your friends. Thanks again for joining. This is the Poultry Doc podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Blayne.